664 boy.
Scratch.
Dressing the culture, I'm adjusting the culture, huh? Adjusting the culture, I'm adjusting the culture, huh? Adjusting the culture, I'm adjusting the culture, huh? Adjusting the culture, I'm adjusting the culture. We gon' talk about it. Come adjust the culture, we gon' talk about it. Come adjust the culture, we gon' talk about it. Come adjust the culture, we gon' talk about it. Come and adjust the culture, huh?
Brick by brick, you get your boy Big Wall, and you already know the vibe. You know what type of time we on when I got my big dog P.stock sitting next to me. We here to address the culture. What's going on with you, P?
Hey, it's time to address the culture and make it happen. And this is an exciting show.
Yeah.
It's a great guest. There's going to be a lot of information. Make sure you get your stuff and get seated. You don't want to miss any of this. We have a great guest on board, tonight. And before we get to that, hey, Happy New Year to everybody. If miss it, it's 2022 now.
Yes.
We back in action, full function. Definitely check out Let's Talk with Lizette Martinez and Big Wall. And got some smooth guests coming up. Hey, she got Kitty Jones coming up. So that's gonna be big. Y'all want to tune in and go catch that.
Yeah.
And definitely check out all the shows this week in the culture. The culture connection's always big. Young and AZ came through.
Yeah.
So they start the new year out with a bang.
Yeah.
And it continues, man. So that's big. That's big.
Yeah.
What's good with your Big Wall, man? The radio show is hot. It's pumping. Everything's in full effect, right?
We moving in such an amazing way. Shout out to Legacy 8. The whole movement. It has been great. We got to tap in with them. Ended our new year on such a great note, high note. You know what I mean? And we have just been moving in such a dope way. We got what didn't happen today. We highlighting the news stories. We got Swerve coming through. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
The network is building in such an amazing way, and it's not stopping today. Now, we talk about a life that can be told from a Hollywood feature film. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Somebody that have been through so many things. We talk about trials and tribulations, and still here and moving through the culture on a high level, as I like to say, adding to the culture instead of taking away from it. Right, Pete?
Right. Definitely. Man, I guess tonight, Jeff Webster, man, his story is so compelling.
Yeah.
Everything he went through and what he does today for the culture, for humanity. He's a warrior for humanity. Basically, he's going to keep it real and tell it real. So and I don't want to tell you. You got to hear from him. This is an amazing story. Jeff is, he's an entrepreneur. I mean, his story is incredible from his background. We're gonna talk about it tonight. He's gonna address the culture, and he's gonna make it happen with us. So without further ado, Big Wall, let's make it happen. Tonight we got Jeff Webster in.
We got Jeff Webster in the building.
Amazing
story. What's going on with
Hey, man, what's happening? Good to see y'all.
Yeah.
That's
thanks
big.
for having me on, man. It's what an honor, man.
Look,
it's an honor for you to stop through to share your story with our viewers. That's hot. Your story is incredible, and I'm glad you started here. And we'll probably see you back again, as Big Wall said. You're gonna spin the block and come back and drop another, because you do some unique things, and I want you to tell the viewers, tell them about it. Address the culture, brother.
Well, God, I could kind of start honestly, like, just a quick kind of recap of my whole life, which is it's just insane how it all it's like I literally I was a high school dropout in 11th grade, and now I have a strong background in like 7-8 different stuff. You know, botany, chemistry, business management, marketing, communication. I'm even a certified hypnotherapist and NLP practitioner. And it was just crazy. It's like I own a couple of fertilizer companies in Northern California, and that was dedicated towards the cannabis industry primarily, and which I partnered with a High Times magazine journalist. His name's Kyle Cushman. He's a fellow New Yorker, and him and I, for several years, we went around the world winning awards. I mean, we had award-winning stuff, and he opened all kinds of doors for me worldwide. And that fertilizer, which was vegan organic, I mean, it was on some Save the Planet type stuff, man. It really was. It was crazy because, like, I knew this professor. He's professor of communication at a college in Santa Rosa, California, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go to school for like botany, you know, and learn how to make fertilizer. He's like, why would you do that? And I said, well, I want to start a fertilizer line. He's like, why don't you just hire a chemistry professor and who already knows how to do it, and then you could just keep being you. And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
So that there started like kind of the journey of entrepreneurism, and I hired it. Yeah. So I found a chemistry professor, and he was glued to my hip for like 3 or 4 years. So I have this really unique background with a chemistry professor that gave me education on everything chemistry, whether it was botany, microbiology, elements, all that type of stuff. And so, I've been to chemistry school and alchemy school, and but what happened was in the way it's crazy how I'm even on this show today is, you know, we all know Sultan. Yeah, grandmaster of the grandmaster. That dude cut you a mile away.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. That guy, man. I love talking to that dude, man. He's just so on the energetic level. I love that guy.
Yeah, a wealth of knowledge. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I know
knowledge.
When y'all connected, it just kind of took everything to a next level, because it sounds like you just been a student of the game, just trying to learn and grow within the culture for a long time.
That's correct. You know, so I just kind of I roll with the current, man. So I'm just floating by. I live a destiny. I don't try to make any one thing happen. It just happens the way it's supposed to, you know. And so it's like, I was working with big agriculture guys, like microbiology guys, the most smartest people in microbiology on the planet. I mean, these guys got like life-changing techniques with microbiology they use to increase yields, leave soil remediated, all this stuff, and I could get train loads of it, you know, and I could get it shipped anywhere in the world. The smartest people in the world, changing the way it goes in agriculture and food production.
Right.
And so I meet this lady who her name is Monica, and she's still a good friend of mine, real positive lady. She lives up in Sonoma County as well. And so she come work for me at the fertilizer company when she got started. So we're just trying to like figure out ways to get it out there, whatever. And she's like, I think you should meet my friend Sultan. I was like, yeah. She was like an orphan basically. And Sultan like basically took her in. That's the story that I know. And as a really little girl, and she trained under him. And like, you like be wrestling around with a girl or something, just having fun. This chick will kill you, bro. Like straight up, she will kill you
Monica's
with her bare hands, dude. Like she will maim you and harm you because like she got trained by Sultan. So she brings me to Sultan, and Sultan says, I think you might be, like you should meet Simon Suhari, and he works with Joe Jackson and from the Jackson 5. I'm like set up. Nah, just set up. That's not even just set up.
Yeah, legendary.
Legendary. So I go down and I meet Sultan in Oakland in his studio, and then we go to Vegas and we meet Simon, and then then I get invited from Simon to go to the Cannes Film Festival, which you had the podcast. That was in 2014 for the World Peace Night there at that. What's that?
The Villa de Oxygen.
Villa Oxygen.
Villa de Oxygen. That's right.
Villa Oxygen. Yeah. I stayed out there, man. It was so cool. Like it was so tight. And that's where I got to hang out with the Mandelas and then like some members of Parliament from South Africa and Joe Jackson and a bunch of others. Just like super like other. It was surreal.
Now look, hold on. Now we not gonna just slide past the names you just dropped. You know what I'm talking about? And this is what we talking about. We talking about the Jacksons and we talking about the Mandelas. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
You want to see some
We're gonna address the culture today. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, LVH.
Yeah.
Hold on. So you see all those famous people on there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this here.
Oprah,
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right next to Joe Jackson. There's Michael.
Oprah Winfrey.
Bill Gates.
Yeah.
John Lennon's on there. There's Mandela right there.
Yeah.
And there's me, man. How did I get? I'm like, what?
Right.
That is me.
That's huge. That's huge.
Me.
Like he would say.
That is me. People that made a difference.
Yeah.
But look, we want to get into all of that. But what
I remember that too.
We gonna pay some bills and we gonna take us a little break. You know what I mean? And we gonna be right back. You know what I'm saying? To hear all them great stories, and we're gonna continue to address the culture.
Yeah, that's the cliffhanger right there, because it's about to get crazy.
Yeah, all right. That's it. We get ready. We'll be right back.
What's going on, y'all? It's your girl, Lady Luck, and I'm here with the homie Big Wall, and you are now tuned in to Address the Culture, where we're addressing everything in the culture. Keep it locked.
Addressing the culture, I'm addressing the culture, huh? Addressing the culture, I'm addressing the culture, huh? Addressing the culture, I'm addressing the culture, huh? Addressing the culture, I'm addressing the culture. We gon' talk about it. Come address the culture, we gon' talk about it. Come address the culture, we gon' talk about it. Come address the culture, we gon' talk about it. Come and address the culture, huh?
Young and AZ, man. Stay tuned in, man. We just getting started, man. We addressing the culture.
Talk about standing for stuff.
Fearless. She's
Come
fearless.
On,
she's not only a silence breaker, she's an author 2 times. She's funny as hell, and she's just a real one.
There was a part of the story when I talked about coming back from Dallas, him picking me up from the airport, and how he beat me in the back seat of the vehicle. And in the headline on one of the blogs, it's very popular, I'm not going to name, it said, R. Kelly ex-girlfriend says that he kicked her in the back seat of his car and said, "Bitch, stay out of my business."
Okay, so I'm a girl, so I'm going to ask a girl question.
All right.
What are you looking for in a partner? First thing that comes to your mind.
First thing that came to my mind, girth.
Yeah.
You already know the vibes. We are back.
Yes. I'm glad you don't lose your seat on this one. You know, so we was going over. You just showed the LVH magazine from the World Peace Day, and I remember that.
Yeah.
Because we were in Sultan was in the LVH magazine, the Road to Stardom.
Yep.
The Road to Stardom in that one, and that's where we was introducing, which is now iHipHop TV at the time. You know, at the time. So so I know
it's
exactly.
So wild to be here now.
Full circle,
so,
right?
Like, it's just
totally full circle.
It's crazy.
It's totally full circle. You know,
man. We was about to do some real ass shit because, like, when I was out there, you know, I was able to go and, like, you know, we had Chief Mandela.
Yeah.
And man, I'm like so comfortable around these people, like, you know. So just to me, they're just people. I mean, like, yeah,
they just done great things in the culture.
And
so
leaders,
with that comes a certain respect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, and I'll tell you, man, like, because this is where we make like the real such an incredible change. At least that was the method I was going for. Is our food. Yeah. We need, man. You know what they give us, bro, for like the kids for our lunches, dude, and like government like our schools, like normal schools. You know what I'm saying? Public education. You know what's in that freaking food? 0 nutrients. Even in like regular grocery stores or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it tastes good or whatever, but there's virtually no nutrient value. It's gone. There's no nutrients left in the soil. It's been destroyed.
The soil, yeah.
It's one of the reasons our brains only operate at 7%. We need those nutrients, bro, to be able to develop our brains the right way. Trust me, that ain't no mistake.
Yeah.
So that was one of my purposes at the time, and it still could be, man. You know, so I have all my connections in fertilizer. I know the most important people on the planet when it comes to this stuff. Yeah. And like, dude, this biology that these guys had created, they sifted through 30,000 species of bacteria, and they found these 9 species that could coexist together and form the symbiotic bond with the plant to dissolve rock mineral into nutrient. Assist with water retention and fight off pests. And they don't fight off pests and like mildews and molds. They just outcrowd them. There's no room left at the dinner table for those molds and mildews to chill at. Right. So when I was out in France, and I was actually I had like 2 days to like sit down in quiet with because Mandela and 2 of his the members of parliament of South Africa was there. These dudes, it was so cool. Like I always hung out in a shisha bar and just smoking shisha, just chilling, drinking lemonades and just some Bordeaux and just chilling. I couldn't believe I was kicking with these guys, man.
Yeah,
right. But I had that one window opportunity to explain the science behind the technology and how like unbelievably like sustainable this was. And it's like, you know, you could go to places that are like very third world and they don't have any type of super technical farming techniques or anything, and you can implement this like a no-brainer, like a 1-year-old can do it. And the science has already been done. The guys are writing the PhD books. I was able to get this absorbed into their brains, and they're like, you want to come out to South Africa and make a difference, bro? You know, like I'm just like, you know.
Let me ask you this, Jay. You just sound like you'd have been around so many influential people. You know what I'm saying? Some people with big names, and some people are big on the power side that people don't know their names, but they huge. You know what I'm saying? Just across the globe. You know what I'm saying? And when you dealing with these people, you know how they say you take people energy, you learn something from people, even if they teach you or you just watching it. From your viewpoint, when you work with such people like the Mandelas, the Jacksons, so on and so forth, what did you take away from working with these people that you used in your everyday life?
Well, and that's cool that you mentioned that, because like I have a passion for people, man. Like I love people, and I love lots of different kinds of people. Like I'm friends with all kinds of different people, and I absorb like I got like, you know, I'm good friends. One of my best friends, he lives in Rhode Island, my boy Bobby Creek. I'll be like, Bobby, is it orange or is it orange? He's like, it's orange. I'm like, no, it's orange. You know? You know? So I got a little East Coast, I got a little Midwest in me, a little Texas, I got a little redneck, bro. I got a little, you know what I mean? I say a little bit of all of it. And so first off, I like to absorb because they come from different cultures. Each one of these people, they come from different, and they did different backgrounds, and it makes them who they are. And so when I'm around them, like I'm observing this just naturally, and it becomes part of who I am, you know? And so like, I kind of take that, like their cool little features or their little actions or whatever, and I make it part of who I am. Yeah. You know, so I'm like I'm a big old like soup. Yeah, a big old soup mix, you know, all of it. And that what that does is at the end of the day, it's all about communication with people, right?
Right.
Like, it's all about how do we communicate with each other. So what's the best way to communicate with each other? We got to be able to relate. It's called building rapport with people. You're their buddy, their pal. And the more different kinds of people that you can be around and find the goodness inside of them and really see the good spirit and good human out of that person and pull the good out of them. Like that right there allows you to build rapport and to build like relate to people of all different walks of life.
Yeah, on so many different levels. It could be somebody homeless, and it could be the president of the United States, and you know how to relate to everybody on their level. That's
correct.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
That's my passion right now. That's why I got involved in NLP and hypnotherapy, because that's all about. It's about human communication. I mean, it's the first part is observing someone's body language. Because here's the thing, man. Whether it's a guy that's homeless or it's the president of the United States, if he got a cold, man, he got a cold. He's a human, man. He's human.
That's a fact.
He's just human.
He's just human, man. Everybody's just human. That's what I found when I met a lot of famous people. In fact, I spent some time out in New York, and I hung out with several hip hop folks out there, and at the end of the day, famous people they just want to be treated like they're literally just somebody that is just a person, man.
Normal people. They want to
just be normal people. So it's like when I walk up to Mandela, when everybody else can barely stand in his presence, I'm just like, "What up, bro?" And he's like, he's like, "Oh, hello, Tiffany, how you doing today?" And so like, I think there's that, and then like I like to stand in this place right here. I think a lot of people got twisted. They expect value from people, and then they'll give their value. But you got to flip it around. You need to give value to get value. So my thing is I bring that positive light to people first, and then that value come back to me sometime later on. But that's the way it needs to be. If everybody thought with that perception, you would see a lot more kindness, I think, in this world. And like say like hanging out with some elite folks. So like, like Joe Jackson and some of these other people, what I kind of realized too is you cannot pay attention to what the media tells you. Because it's twisted, man. It's like they call it, you guys like history, is it history or is it his story?
His story. That's what it is.
Talk
his
about
story.
Talk about
I don't know. Sounds like a spelling book to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sounds like words, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do know this. Like whatever people want to say, like about Michael's, like whatever. I like Mike, bro. Mike when he was back doing, like, you know what I'm saying, when he was singing Bad and all that stuff. Like, that's what I look at Mike. You know what I mean? Joe Jackson. However people want to say or talk about him, he's a founder of the Jackson 5, man. Whatever, like just whatever. And people want to say whatever.
He made them stars. Yeah.
He made them stars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that was always one of my misconceptions as well with it, because I know, like, growing up in those times, it was a lot of fathers and parents who were hard. You know what I mean? Just that on their kids because of, at that time what our people was going through. So, each generation, it was tougher and tougher. You know what I'm saying? So at that time, fathers was hard. But at the same time, there was a lot of fathers that didn't even care. And he pumped them and made them into being superstars. It might have not been the right way all the time, but at the end of the day,
it worked. It worked for them to get them to that level.
Well, like, whose business is it anyways, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody knows.
That's
it's
right.
Like when people want to like judge somebody, like if you're in a relationship, right? And then people are like, oh, he's so mean to her. You know what I mean? It's just like, dog, you don't know. Back the hell out of here. You don't know what's going on.
Back
you don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
talk your shit, man. Yeah.
I'll tell you something about parents. This is how me and my dad finally reconciled. My dad, rest his soul, man. He passed away about a year and a half ago.
God bless the dead.
Yeah. And that's another crazy story, because I talked to him 2 days before he died. He's like, I got 2 days to live, Jeff. Goodbye. I love you, man.
Wow.
But when I learned this here, when it comes to your folks, man, 98% of the time, man, they did the best they could with what they knew. And they don't owe you an apology. They don't. And you don't, especially when it comes to your, like a father figure, dude, don't go to your father and be like, I want an apology and I want things done on my way, my terms, because I'm the kid. No. It's just the other way around. It's like, Dad, I want to do it on your terms. Well, how do we got to do this your way? That's how you get a response.
100%.
100. And if you want to be technical about it, the 10 Commandments say, honor thy mother and thy father, not honor thy children.
You know, I say honor. Everybody deserves respect, but a lot of people get caught up in the blame game of their parents, of like say Joe Jackson, like, oh, he was so mean and so harsh. Man, get out of their business. Get the hell out of their business, man. Absolutely. That's their business. Let them have their business on their own. That's their business.
That's them super liberals.
Because at the end of the day, at some point in your life, even if your father or your parents was hard, you know, because, you know, we've all been through things, you know, but at some point you got to say, okay, it's on me now. I can't continue to blame my future mistakes or what I do on something my father did to me when I was 6 or something my mama did to me when I was whatever. You know what I mean? You have to take responsibility on your own. And I think everybody just fell into the rut of wanting to blame Joe for everything. Like, when are you going to blame Michael for what Michael doing, Janet for what Janet do? You know what I'm saying? They grown. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you as an adult have to take responsibility for your own actions. You know what I mean?
You want to take it a step farther? A step farther is this. I believe on a spiritual level, okay, that before our spirits enter into these 3D vessels, we've signed soul contracts. We're in Earth School right now because in the spirit realm, there's no need, there's no desire, there's no need for desire, there's no pain, there's no suffering, there's no challenge, which means there's no growth. You are where you're at, and that is it. You feel no pain and no suffering, but you can't get any farther because there's no challenge. So to get on a spiritual growth, to grow spiritually, you got to come to Earth School and you got to live through some challenges to be able to grow. So you know what's about to take place. You've signed contracts with your parents before you come down. You picked that life. You chose it. He chose that life. He chose the hardships because he wanted to go through those lessons to learn and grow and experience on a spiritual level. So when he passes on, he now has those growths that he went through. That's why you gotta, to me, I don't let nothing bother me. You know, I got issues with my son's mother. I don't have issues no more. He chose it. He chose those, and the more I let go of that control, everything fluid emotion so much better because my son he chose that so he could grow in a certain way spiritually. So I stopped getting involved and I live my life. I chose this. I chose to go through these challenges because everything's a math problem, man. And no matter what it is, everything that ever existed from the beginning of time till now, till the very end of time, everything is a math problem and equation. And the bigger challenge, the bigger the math problem. And that's how they explain the mysteries of the universe is with math equations. And so man, when you look at like Joe Jackson, man, he is just growth. That's all it was. And he chose that. So just let it be.
Yeah. I like that. The bigger, what you said, the bigger the challenge, the bigger the equation, right?
The bigger
the challenge, the greater the reward at the end of it, man. Think about the growth. Think about the growth that you get. Okay, here's a challenge here. I need to tie my shoe. That's like in a math equation, I'd be like 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. Well, like, you know, that's great. I feel a sense of accomplishment. I got to that number, but it was very quick and very simple. I didn't get that much growth from it. Then there's a scenario like, you know, my scenario that I'm going to explain in a minute. Now that there is like a Ivy League University a calculus problem where the students get one problem per semester because it takes that long to figure it out. And it's challenging. It's a pain in the butt, man. I mean, it's like, you're like, ugh, I can't. Ugh. I mean, could you imagine Thomas Edison on the 7,000th try? He's like, won't turn on.
Yeah, he ready to give up. You know what I mean?
And then he's got 3,000 more tries of not happening. And he's still But then it turned on that one time. Could you imagine what that must have felt like?
Yeah, we talk about the challenges, man. And we want to get into that, man, because you done been through so many trials and tribulations. And when we come back from this break, I want you to get into that, man, so we can talk about how you made it through some of them dark moments in your life to be where you at, okay?
Yeah, we're just about to get there. I can't. All right, after the break. After the break.
We'll be right back.
Right there, right back.
What's going on with you, Lizette? How you doing?
It's our first episode, and I got my drink ready to go.
You know what I mean? JAY111 bag going crazy.
I'm just really proud of it. I'm getting a lot of good, great feedback.
So when I was in the group Dream, I was a teenager. We were surrounded by a lot of toxicity. So
all help. You don't have to explain as to why you didn't do, or why you didn't do this, or why you didn't do that.
And it was because of my husband standing there as my pillar of strength. That would be, the ultimate is to have my life back.
Yeah, right, we're back with the nice guest, Jeff Webster. You know, and he came a long way. Yeah. You know, he had told us he had dropped out of high school to become basically a scientist as well, but a healer. You know, he's a hypnotherapist. You know, and you came from the award-winning cannabis. You know, that was a part of your past as well. So we're gonna pick up where we left off with you. I know you want to get into it. We want to keep you on pace, cause we want because
the trials and the tribulations that you've been through, and that's kind of where we left off, and we want to kind of talk about that because you went through something that, let's just be honest, man, a lot of people wouldn't make it through. You know? You
to go from that very high to what happened to you. Yeah, it's like. Yeah. Total blind side almost.
Bro, it's not it's exactly blind side. I'm blind in my left eye, literally.
So can you kind of tell us, you know, what you've been through, and kind of take us on that journey for people who might not know?
So and thanks, man. So I meet my late wife now, Maureen. I met her in Oakland in 2016. Her and I, we were married later on that summer. And there she is right there. Man, what an angel she is, man. She helped, man. She was the first real partner I ever had in a woman, man. I couldn't speak high enough of that lady, man. I mean, she was just, you're never gonna meet no one like her, ever. So, anyways, kind of fast forward to the night that it happened. March 12th, 2019. Man, me and Mo, we have made it, man. We had wrapped. We had 4 houses in 3 states. I had 7 companies. It was just insane. It took 2.5 years to unravel my life and get settled here in Utah, so we could come back here for my son and help him. And we gave up everything, but then through that, like, we had gained so much. Like, she had made friends, all my friends. So I know everybody here in the music scene. It was just her cup of tea. Like, everybody's in the Burning Man scene here. Those are all my friends out here. So she just like immediately made friends. All my friends. It was like a dream come true, man. Like, we were we were fighting all the time, like 10 hours a day, every day. We almost got divorced. And then she was like, will you come to marriage counseling with me? I was like, yeah. 1.5 years later, and she did 6 months of anger management. We were good, dude. We were so good. Like, you know, that was the best thing. Like, I got so many tools in couples counseling and couples therapy, man. I watched it work. And we was like, she just graduated school, like, as an esthetician, and she was just developing her business, and so hard. Our house was so incredibly beautiful, man. I mean, it was so beautiful. We finally made it. Like, I was developing a CBD business here, a CBD infused energy drink, which I still have. Another story. But so anyways, I come home. I was at a meeting with some of these bigger businessmen out here for doing investor deck stuff. And I call her up. I was like, what you doing? She's like, I'm at the mall. I was like, shit, let's go shopping. So we go down there, we do some shopping, and then I was like, you know, let's go out celebrate tonight, man. This is just like, man, like we're doing so good. So we got ready, went out to our favorite place to eat is this sushi restaurant. It's downtown. I'm a sushi connoisseur, man, and I'll tell you, it's in the top 5 best sushi places anywhere. Is this place here? Okay. So we roll out there. We're sitting there. There's a little bar the owner of that place owns. We're sitting there. We're drinking this incredible sake. He comes around only 2 weeks a year. We're mingling with everyone in the bar, and they're just serving us up like the most fire sushi. Like,
having a great night.
Like,
yeah, perfect.
It was the most perfect, and we were just enjoying that. It was like, not only was we was always like two like Jenna and Forrest, you know, we was like two like peas and carrots, you know what I'm saying? We was more peas and carrots than we ever have been, because we went through 3 years of craziness and we made it, man. We did it, and we were all past that the right way through therapy and counseling and hard work.
And that makes you stronger. Like, when you go through that stuff and stay together, man, your bond be even stronger. So I know what you mean. Like, y'all was at a peak, at a high.
And we was friends, man. We were so close. And we go home. Open the garage, pull in the bins, garage shut, go inside, hit the alarm. She go upstairs, I go in the kitchen, and all of a sudden I hear these explosions above my head, and I'm just like bleeding everywhere. Wow. And like, I thought she threw like a firecracker or something at me, and I was like, "What'd you do that for?" She's like, "I didn't do anything." I was like, I can't see anything. Next thing I knew, dude, I wake up and I'm just like, my alarm system in my house is going off, and I was like blind, and I was like, I can't see anything. And then all of a sudden, the vision in my right eye came. I was like, with my eyes open, at first it looked like a static TV, you know, like white static TV. And then all of a sudden, like, my vision in my right eye came back. And I was on the ground in my kitchen. We had this marble tile floor. I was like, and I pulled myself up and I looked down, and I'm literally in a massive pool of blood and water. I'm just like, what? You know, I mean, rushed straight out of a horror movie. I mean, like, literally, I was like, wow. And she was like, she's like, I could hear in the back. She's like, Jeff, I'm hit. I'm like, hit with what? You know? And like, I go and I stand up, and I go walk over, and I just collapse. And dude, I like looked down and my left butt cheek right here, bro, was blown apart, like completely exploded. Like, and that was where all the blood and water was from. I'm just like, whoa, oh my God, you know, like, and so, dude, like, I like army crawled to the front door. And I like, cause like the alarm system, the box is right there, and you can like, you know, sometimes like talk to somebody, you know, cause I know I'm so, you know, and so I army crawl over there and I pull myself up the door. I mean, and dude, like the end result, bro, what my house looked like, it was like this smear of blood, dude. It was just like across the wood, we had hardwood floors in that room, and it's like up the front wall. I mean, right out of a horror movie. It was so awful, and I couldn't figure it out. And like I knew the cops had to be coming, you know what I mean? I don't know how long it was. And so I opened the front door and I'm screaming bloody murder, like, ah. And then I heard my phone ring. And so I army crawl back to the kitchen and I pull myself up to the counter and I grab my phone and then, you know, but I'm like bleeding out, like the massive hole, like see my bone, like the hole was like that. Right. And so then I just like boom, I prop up against the oven. I'm like dying. I'm dying. And so then I dial 911 and they're like, you know, you on 916 East right there. I'm like, yeah, man. They're like, what happened? I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm like, I'm bleeding everywhere. I can't see. I don't know what the hell is happening. They're like, all right, I'll be right there. And then then all of a sudden, this cop come in, one single cop come in with his gun drawn and shit, and and he's like looking around and he goes straight to Maureen, and I'm just like, how does it get worse? Hello, you know, hello. And so then the paramedics showed up 10 seconds later, and they all went to her, and they just left me. I'm like literally propped up against the oven. This is when I had this cover. I got hit 1,000 times, dude. Like 1,000 freaking times. And then they all went to her, got her on a stretcher, and like maybe like 10 minutes later, bro, then they got me on a stretcher. And they had brought me out. And then I was like, when they brought me out the front door, there's just cops everywhere. The neighbors, it's just like this madhouse of craziness. And like literally, then when I found I had bled out, dude, for almost 29 minutes. Literally 29 minutes bled out before they had me a stretcher in the back of the ambulance. And they're like, all of a sudden there's all these dudes in there and they're like putting all this shit. They're like, calm down, saying, this time my adrenaline had worn off and the pain had started to kick in. And I'm just like, you know, and then they're like, I'm like, what the hell's going on with my wife? What's going on with my wife? And they're just like, settle down, dude, take it easy, sit back, everything, you know? And I'm like, what the hell's going on with my wife? And this doctor looked at me, he's like, she's dead. I'm like, and that's when the drugs kicked in. And that's when I woke up the next morning and like in this room, and it was like surrounded like by all these like medical people and all these machines and I'm just, you know, and then a long time friend, we've known this guy over 30 years, my mom's, but he's like, Jeff, man, it's Mikey. I'm here, man. And I was like, Mike, I'm like, what the hell happened to me, man? He's like, you got shot. I was like, I got shot? What do you mean, dude? I don't got a bullet hole in me. Like, what? Where? From who? Like, what? They're like, with a shotgun, bro. Who would? I'm like, a shotgun? Yeah, there's me right there, man. Like, laid up. I couldn't move, man. Like, could I move? The pain was so unbearable, bro. I was like, Momo's gone, huh? They're like, Momo's gone. I was like, oh my God, what? And so, in the end, there's my face right there because I got shot in the face, and in the torso area, and then point blank in the ass cheek. And I had 12 fractures in my hip. There's where I took my first step without a cane. Yeah, I had 12 fractures in the hip. I had pellets lined in my stomach, kidney, liver. I had 4 lung contusions, pellets in my heart, pellets in my brain. I had multiple teeth shot out. I had pellets lined my jugular. I had a dozen pellets in my esophagus. I had like dozens of pellets lined my spinal cord. Every single pellet, everywhere hit didn't puncture where it should have, just by chance. The pellets went around my sciatic nerve in my hip. Hundreds of them still there, too dangerous to take out. There's pellets. I got pellets in my lips still. There's pellets up here in my eye. The one pellet shot through my eye, through my nasal cavity. Is currently resting on the optic nerve of my right eye. Too dangerous to take out. It will blind me in my right eye if they go take it out. I've had 13 surgeries. They had the dude. I had 90 staples in my butt cheek, and I had 110 staples in my stomach. I died twice. I died in the ambulance. They brought me back to life, and then I died when I was down there in that room. And I woke up. They're like, all of a sudden, all the machines went off. They're like, get him under, get her. And then I died again, and they brought me back. And they couldn't, but like literally, they couldn't. They medically unexplainable. Like they had me on so much drugs. I was mainlined to fentanyl, Dilaudid, and every 2 hours taking 2 Oxycontin 80s. That's still unbearable. So they hooked me up to a ketamine drip, in which I hallucinated like LSD for 3 days straight, and went to the deepest, darkest dungeons of the pits of eternal, like than you could imagine. Like this is right afterwards, and couldn't talk. See, I literally, they had me mainlined to fentanyl. And and they're like, if we give you any more opiate, you will die of an overdose.
Yeah.
They had to put a wound vac in my butt cheek, and for anybody who doesn't know what that is, that's where they take a tube, wrap a sponge around it, stuff it down that bullet hole, and then it's connected to a vacuum, and that vacuum's on 24-hour day sucking gunk out of you on a vacuum. But then what happens is your nerve endings grow into that sponge, and every 3 days they got to pull that out of you. And now come to nerve endings, like nerve endings in your teeth, and that pain, bro, is like, it's unexplainable. Like I was in the hospital screaming when they had to pull that shit out every 3 days for 4 months. I had to experience that every 3 days, and then after they pull it out of you, then they got to stick their finger in there and they clean it. Then they got to take a scalpel and they got to stab you a bunch of times inside the wound to create new wounds. So
They
fresh
put it back in.
white blood cells will come to the wound in order for it to heal properly. And the wound vac, healed me, months quicker. But the pain, dog, like that pain is something that like I can't even, it's like 1,000 like sharp nails scraping down the inside of, like, if you took like a screwdriver and stabbed yourself with it and then like scraped yourself down with acid laced fingernails, shredding down the insides of your skin. Like that's like what it felt like. And so the pain it was undescribable, on top of the emotional pain of losing my life. I never saw my house again.
Wow.
It was gone. Like, because my mom just went and she packed the whole house up for me. I couldn't go back there. It was
they probably didn't want you to see it, and you probably couldn't go back up in there.
How do you go back there?
Yeah.
And it destroyed a bunch of stuff, man. A bunch of artwork. The BBs went everywhere. It destroyed all of our dishes. Like everything was just destroyed. Everything. Yeah.
Do you have any idea who it was?
I know exactly who it was. I know exactly why. I know exactly who. The cops ain't done nothing, and it's the most shadiest, weirdest, most like it's on the weird shit-o-meter list, level 10. Like, and I had, dude, there's I was on the news a few months ago. I did a 3-part series with one of these reporters out here. And then I got contacted by this private investigator. She does cold case stuff.
Yeah.
And she was like, hands down, out of the dozens of cases she's done cold case, she said, this is hands down the most unique, most bizarre, strangest of any case she's dealt with. Why? There's so many whys. There's so many pieces to this freaking puzzle. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know how you don't need evidence when you got instinct?
Absolutely.
And there's enough pieces of the jigsaw puzzle built. I know it's a damn sailboat. You can't tell me it ain't a sailboat on that jigsaw puzzle. It's a freaking boat. You can't argue with it.
Right.
That's how I know who this is. I know damn well who this is. Wow. And the fact of the matter is it was all jealousy. It was ex-girlfriends that were behind this. They weren't the actual assassin.
Exes.
2 ex-girlfriends that were like literally like, I mean, yeah, crazy.
So what are you saying? Like the ex-girlfriends?
They conspired together.
They conspired together, and I have so much evidence, brought so much real evidence to support that claim.
Wow.
So much, bro. So much, dude. Like so much evidence.
And
real
the police still ain't
evidence.
The police ain't listening. They don't want to. They're not doing nothing about it.
Well, we see now. I have this detective that was working on the case. This guy, me and him, you know, and you know how we all feel about cops or whatever, but like, man, I got a different way I look at cops, especially him, because he was in the ambulance. He was one of the first responders. He was in the ambulance with me, and he was in charge of my personal security for 4 or 5 days after everything happened at the hospital. And I was a security issue, bro. There was like 200 people at all, like literally like 200 people flooding the hospital, bro, come to see me. You know, like I'm a very, very well-known individual. And like they had to put me at the very top floor under high-level security, and they took my name off the hospital books. I gave them a list of like 8 people that I allowed to come see me, and they couldn't even, nobody could know or see, even that like any of the secretaries, they had no record that I was even there.
Even there, yeah.
But this cop, man, he was passionate. He's like, I'm gonna get these guys. Like, I'm gonna get you, sucker. You know, he knew damn well he did this. That guy was on something. He knew. I think he was close. A year ago, man, I taught they put a new detective on the case. Mm-hmm. And I got my opinions. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, where's homie?
Yeah, what happened? Yeah.
They're like, oh, he went to the private sector.
He was one of the good ones, huh?
Bro, me and him had a bond. How do you ever experience something like that with somebody? Mm-hmm. You're never gonna experience something like that with that. Me and him had even though he's a cop and I grew weed, like me and him had a bond.
Yeah.
And you know what? At the very least, he never even made an exit from you know, I like he would have been like, you know, hey Jeff, like
yeah, he never said anything.
The case.
Yeah.
Let me make a formal introduction.
Right.
And the new detective's like, oh, I don't know. He just went to the private sector. Anyways, I'm like, what? No, hold up. What do you mean anyways? No, I'm sorry. And then the three people who I know did this. I know did it. They're just, no, we cleared them. They're cleared.
Wow.
I'm like, what?
Wow. What was it about? What do you think, or you know, it was about, you know, your business at the time? Because you said you was, you know, in the hemp and the jealousy with the ex-girlfriends, you know.
Well, it was literally like, it had to do with my son. And you know, I'll tell you what, man, and this goes for anybody out there. Like, the family court system is a sham. You know,
they all are.
Because I don't need to go, you know, into too much detail in front of, I will maybe one day, but I'll put it this way. I spent $40,000 on an attorney in order to get rights to my kids. And at the end of the day, all it did was make me and my son's mother more resentful towards each other. Yeah. That's what I paid $40,000 for. And in the end, I wrote up the contract anyways, and she signed it. And I got, it's just like, but there was a lot of jealousy going on. I know for a fact. If you guys, y'all can catch my drift.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, bro, there's
Absolutely.
Mountains of evidence, bro. Mountains from like dead from 2016 till that day, and even after that, mountain evidence. So much. That detective told me on that girl alone that he has 1,700 pages of evidence just on her. 1,700 pages for one person. That and this is just some random girl. Like she's a nobody. She ain't part of some syndicate. She's some
her family.
1,700.
Her family or somebody on the force, or that's what that sounds like. Political, or it sounds like somebody could be pulling strings to try to keep it from going that way. Yeah, why?
See, that's what I'm thinking.
Unless it's family that you might not know, a father, uncle, or something. That's
the thing though. It's like it just it's the biggest question mark. I have the biggest question mark. So check that. There's so many question marks. Okay. Like how we got shot. Now, they shot us from the balcony, or he or whatever shot us from the balcony outside through the kitchen window. No one entered the house. And we would know because there's a log from our alarm system of any window, even if the system's not armed, it will log that every single window door was armed. And so if any of those doors were to open, it would log it on the alarm log. Door was open. Door was locked. Alarm was set. It logs everything. Every single thing on that log matched up to what I had recalled and remembered. And the only time, remember I told you I army crawled to the front door and opened it. Yeah. That was like from when what happened is they shot through the window. And we had glass break, shatter break to trigger the alarm, which definitely saved my life.
Yeah.
That's when I woke up and the alarm was triggered. It's because they had shot through that window. Wow. But they never opened the door. Now, check this. The first two shots that hit me. Now it spread. You saw that one picture of my face or whatever, right? It was spread. Right. Now, that come from about, I don't know, distance maybe 12, 13 feet away. Okay? Okay. Now, my hit was estimated 3 to 6 inches away.
So they came in.
Point blank range. But I woke up in the same place where the first two shots hit me. The exact same place.
How's that?
I don't know.
Yeah, how is that?
I don't know.
And did they rob? Did they steal anything?
Didn't steal nothing. Nothing.
And the cops said the cops took 3 weeks and did 4 blocks by 4 blocks by 4 blocks in a square. Went and got every single available piece of video footage from door cameras, whatever the hell.
Right.
10 terabytes of video footage. 10 terabytes. That's like 20,000 hours or some shit.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Not what? Nope, nothing. That was a year ago. Nothing. No, we saw nothing. I'm like, nothing? That's impossible. No, nothing.
Yeah. Somebody had to see and hear something if they used the 12 gauge.
There was multiple calls.
From a balcony, yeah.
There was multiple calls to the cops. It wasn't just the alarm. People heard it. And people heard it, but they recovered no gun. Can you believe? You know what?
No shells.
They came and they said, they're like, oh, we're looking at this as a homicide, failed suicide from the husband.
What?
Literally. I'm like, what?
They tried to. Oh.
I'm like, oh, what? Yeah, like shot myself that had enough time to do all that and then hide the gun, huh?
Because they can't detect. Most of these cops, they can't detect. I mean, they depend on people with the information, and then they misread the information or they misuse it or whatever. A lot of them.
And that's the thing. The original cop, that guy, he like you look that dude up. He's a gangster, bro. That dude is like, he is surgical. he'll put in 100 hours and he'll go through every pebble of sand, and he'll finally find that one piece of sand that makes that difference.
Did they retire him, make him retire and be quiet?
You know what?
I mean, why didn't he ever come to you and just do his final? I thought they had to do that to give you a final, especially the family. Your wife had a family. You know, you have a family.
They still got her wedding ring.
Wow.
They won't get to me. Dude, that cop,
stinks.
check it out. This cop, he's famous. He solved a few real famous crimes out here. The one that was working with me. That private investigator, we're talking private investigator. She has access to things that the general public do not have access to. She can't find him anywhere.
Wow.
The original detective.
Can't find him. Don't know where he lives, where he's at, what he's doing. Cannot find that he even kind of exists.
It's a lot of things that gives me pause when it comes to this. You know what I mean? Just the fact that they left you there for 29 minutes, letting you bleed out, that gave me pause. And that makes me think that they looked at you as a suspect somehow, or that it was you.
From the beginning.
From the very beginning, because you said at the somebody told you that they gonna call it a suicide, a failed suicide by the husband, and that's crazy. It wasn't no gun residue on your hand. It don't take no.
Bro, they searched my house twice and found nothing. They found
but if
nothing.
You fire, let's just say how crazy you a 12-gauge shotgun. You shoot yourself.
Shoot yourself.
Like, how you even gonna do that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start there. But it's not even no gun residue on your hands. It couldn't have been because you got shot.
Bro, I blew my butt cheek was blown apart.
Bruh, like that's beyond me. I just don't understand it, and it's just tough. It makes the situation that you went through even more because
worse.
You have to deal with the loss of someone you love. The backlash from it, and now you're facing some backlash.
They're looking at you.
Looking at you. You know
and that's what happens. That's what happens.
The time.
The cops are so focused on the husband or whatever. And a lot of times it is because they can't detect. Yeah. You know, they go for that. And then after they take what they say, the first 48 hours, well, they spend 3 weeks looking at the husband. So now the real killers, you know, scot-free. That's why these people be getting away for 20 years, 30 years, and they come back and find them. They can't detect shit.
Yeah.
And you know what? I told them, I knew exactly what happened because guess what? About a month earlier, I knew some shit. My kid had come home and said, Dad, I think they're trying to hurt you. I said, oh, son, don't worry about it. It'll be all right.
What do you mean, Dave? His mom?
My son, my son had overheard conversations. And he said, Dad, I think they're trying to hurt you. And get this. We had a child therapist that was court appointed. Very special type therapist, right? I got in the course to order that the therapist see my son's mom and me for co-parenting therapy. The court has finally started to see that I was the one that was actually telling the truth. So they were like, what do you want? I was like, I want her to come to co-parenting therapy with me so we can, I don't need to rip him away from his mom. I need her to become on board.
Participate.
Yeah, participate, dude. You know, let the past go. So we had done dozens of co-parenting sessions. The therapist had witnessed all of this go down. She had seen the demise. She once a week we're going to see her. She had wrote multiple letters to the courts with all these happenings and findings the courts did not pay any attention to. I called the police. I made a police report saying I was afraid for my personal safety and my family's safety from her and another girl. I had an assigned detective. I made reports a month prior. They didn't do shit. I made reports to the therapist. She tried. You should, bro. I'll send you copies of these letters, dude. This freaking that this therapist had wrote to the courts, you make you throw up.
Wow.
And they didn't do nothing. They didn't even mention it. They didn't do nothing. And there's even more. There was attempted murder on my freaking another one that got done. Nothing got done about it. Nothing. I had the cops involved. I told them everything. I let them know everything. I had other evidence. I had all kinds of stuff. Nothing. They didn't do shit.
They ain't lift a finger. Now, do you think it could be something from your line of business at that time that the cops feel a certain way that they, like he's a cannabis grower, like you were saying, he's a cannabis grower.
And man, like they tried. I'm like, well,
that's another easy. That's an easy lane.
It's an easy one.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what. You go out to Northern California, bro. Like it's so hippie out there. Those fools, man. There's not killers.
No,
they're really not, bro. Like, cartel rent. Even those guys are like, whatever. Like, there's so much money out there. They don't care. Like, you're living in the land of milk and honey, bro, out there. Everybody's just cool, dude. I'm telling you right now. I had no enemies, only friends. Check this out. They interviewed 77, 78 people. 75 of those people all pointed to those two girls and said they're the ones involved. The other two people that were interviewed pointed at me and said, "Oh, cannabis." Those two people that pointed at me were those two girls.
Wow, what a coincidence.
What a coincidence. And check this out. They did never, ever interview one key individual. You know who that key individual was?
Who?
That therapist.
Ah, yeah.
They never went and interviewed her. And then they blamed it on me. They said I didn't sign a release form to let them. They said I refused. I never refused. But and the last time a year ago, I said, what do you mean I refused? I figured I subpoenaed a warrant to go to just go talk to her. I'll sign it right now. They didn't give me the document to sign, and then they never asked about it. And so I kind of just held back and I just waited to see if they would ever ask me, just to see if they'd ask. My family was asking cops, do you guys talk to the therapist? Like, oh no, our hands are tied. I'm sorry, until Jeff signs that paper, he's not doing it. But they never got a hold of me. They got a hold of me in that period of time, asking them about an ex-girlfriend of 22 years ago and if I had her phone number. But they didn't ask about the child therapist.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
Maybe the one key person, she testifies in court. They're like,
what does the district attorney say? I mean, the district attorney's the one that pulls the trigger on these cases and tell the police, go get them. We got enough evidence.
We got enough
evidence. Let's
go
get them.
We all know that, and this is where I do have a lot of compassion for the police, especially, I don't know about this new group of detectives, and I can't say that, I don't know what the hell's going on. They're probably telling me like 2-3%. I'm not doing any more updates from them ever again. Because the only update I need is to see them in handcuffs. When I see people in handcuffs, that's when I want to be contacted. Other than that, it's crap. So I don't know. And I don't know what they're doing. I don't want to talk low about them or bad about them because it might be a luge anyways. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows what they're really up to. So they're going to let them do their thing. But, like, the one cop, man, he was, like, I don't know, like he had told me, you know how it goes. One little minor technicality in a trial, it is a hung jury, and that, like, if you're a juror, you're ordered by law. If you are not 110% sure, you're ordered by law, not guilty.
Not guilty.
And that's where they can only arrest somebody one time, or it's double jeopardy. That's that.
Yeah.
So it's crap.
Man,
so now, not only has justice not been served, but where the hell are these people?
Yeah.
I carry a firearm everywhere. I'm like, you come near me.
Yeah, where are
they? It's crazy, man.
You know, like, come near me. Someone's catching one next time. I don't care. Like,
this
time, God, come near me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just so frustrated over it. You know what I mean? Like, because it, like, you talk about a blink of an eye of years of building to this moment of finally getting somewhere. And like, man, we was good parents, and we was involved with the PTA. I was down there a couple days a week teaching math to the kids, and she was down there hosting class parties. And for my son, like, we had a birthday party. We paid for his entire class to go to the roller skating rink, and like, man, we was hella involved, man. Like, we was so involved, and especially Maureen, man. She just, as hard as it is being a step parent, man, that shit is hard, man. That, you know, especially when you got the parent is just so disagreeable and She did so good, man. I cannot tell you and speak highly enough of that woman. She was my savior, man. She saved me. I was wrapped up in so much crap, dude, in my life. She saved my life, man. And like, now I didn't get to go to her funeral. I was in the hospital.
Wow.
I didn't get to go to my dad's funeral either. I didn't talk to him 2 months, man. I didn't talk to him. He was too sick to call, and then I get a call out of nowhere. He's dead, Jeff. I got 2 days to live. This is just a few months after. The last time I saw him, he flew in to come see me at the hospital. And that was the last time I saw my father. And then not shortly after that, he died of lung cancer. And I didn't talk to him for 2 months. Called up. I got 2 days to live, son. I'm just like,
wow. Wow, man.
That's deep.
Dude, I lost my dad. I lost my wife. I lost my house. I lost my career because due to lack of leadership. Just I couldn't do anything. I lost the sight in my left eye. My house, I never saw my home ever again the way it was in a blink of an eye. So much. I lost my peace of mind. I lost a chunk of my hip. I lost my calf ran away. My two like that was my best bud, dude. My calves both they ran away. And then that kind of ends, and then goes into another crazy story after that, man. Craziness. It can continue. My story continues to get crazier. But man, like, I know loss on such a deep level, where it is the biggest kick to yourself. There was a couple nights, man, I sat and stared at the gun, and I'm like, I just don't know if I can take it anymore. You know what I mean? The pain and suffering that I went through physically on top of it. You know, I quit Oxycontins too. And I'll tell you what, like, I had to wean off. I remember the surgeon, they was like, this is the last script we can give you, man. Stretch them. I'm like, what? I mean, like,
You was in a lot of pain.
Bro,
that's
man.
pain.
Bro,
we talking about
I weaned myself off that.
mental.
I weaned myself off of Oxycontin. Took about 3 weeks, and I finally didn't take one. And that next 2 weeks after I did stop taking one was one of the more darker times of the experience. And now I understand what people suffered through with the opium epidemic, and it ain't pleasant. But I ain't had an Oxycontin in 2.5 years.
That's dope, man, and it just speaks volumes with what you done been through, and we want to talk about how you kind of came out of it. You know what I mean? And how are you able to be right here,
and what you're doing today,
and what you're doing today. You know what I'm saying?
Positive
so
work you're doing today.
Little break. You know what I mean?
We're gonna come back and get into that.
Oh yeah, because it gets good, man. We just getting to the best part.
All right.
We'll be right back. Dressing the culture, I'ma dress the culture, huh?
What's up, everyone? It's Lizette Martinez here, and guess what? I have a new show called Let's Talk. I'm the Address the Culture Network and also iHipHopTV.com. I'm an author. My name is Lizette Martinez. I wrote Jingo No. 9, How to Survive R. Kelly. My book is available on Amazon and also Barnes & Noble. Check it out.
We are back again. This is Address the Culture with Bigg and P.stock here, and our special guest Jeff Webster, that just told us the incredible story, and it's not over, you know. And with him in front of us today, you know, there's a positive ending, and it's good. So we want to go into that.
Well, you know, you heard of the statement, man. You know, with the mindset, you want to live with the cup is always half full.
Yes, that's how I think. The cup is always half full.
Always.
That's my mentality as well. I can definitely relate, Jeff.
Well, that's because that's you looking at the bright side of everything.
Absolutely.
And that you're happy. You're happy with what you got. You're happy, man. It's all right. It's still half full, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? You know what you do? The guy says, "Well, what happens when you drink your cup and it goes past the halfway point? Then what are you gonna do?" I'm like, "I'll just go get a smaller cup, pour it down."
Right.
That's real.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So like the journey through healing was just it was incredible, man. Like I got taken to my to a friend's house, and him and his wife they nurtured me back to health. That's one of the pictures there. Like, I think I sent. I don't know. His name is Evan and Rachel, and these guys they're just. That's a guy in the kitchen that's standing next to me. That's Evan.
Oh, yeah.
Man, yeah, that guy right there, man. That dude is, man, him and his wife, like, you can't even speak highly of people. They waited on me hand and foot for almost 6 months. Evan had to carry me up the stairs practically every day with me screaming and crying because I could, you know, like, and he to my bed. Man, the most incredible two people that I've ever met, and we're still very, very close today. But when I got out of the hospital, man, we had energy workers and light healers and Reiki masters, and just 24 hours a day I'm getting worked on nonstop. You know, I'm like that. So when I basically could chop my life up from 18 years old until now of 4 distinct completed novels. And I'm living the 5th one right now, and I have no idea what's about to happen. So that in itself was novel. That would have been novel 3 is the healing, and the healing, and there's novel 4, which mixes in. It's called the Witch Trials. Man, I ain't lying about that. It's so crazy, bro. Not even lying. When I seen some real dark shit out in the world, man, I seen the darkest of the darkest of shit that I don't like. You don't know, like, you think it's hokey until it happens to you. And you know, I've seen literal possession. I've seen some, and you know, like, I'm very, very spiritual because of it all. And it's toned its way completely out of my life, but I've seen some things that will make you, like, literally
bring a grown man to his knees. You know what I'm saying? Like real life. Yeah, I can imagine, man. And I think those things which you experience, personal trials and tribulations, and then taking it to a spiritual level, I think that's kind of what helped you come out on the brighter side. Because today you're standing here, you're here to tell your story. You're still fighting for your wife, but you're still living, and you make moves in the culture.
Well,
you know what I mean? So it's an amazing story.
Living.
Yeah. And it's power, perseverance. I mean, man, I can go rock climbing, bro. Yeah. I can snowboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
They even said I might be able to see again, dude, in my eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah.
You know, so, like, after going through, I started to become a lot more spiritual, whatever. I've gone through, like, I've seen some unbelievably scary stuff that I don't need to get into at the moment, but I got really in touch with the spirit of my wife. And then it was crazy because about a year ago, man, I woke up one day and I just knew how to read tarot cards. It was a charisma. I was like, what? I'm like, and then somebody gave me a deck. Wow. It's actually my buddy that in that picture, Evan, his wife Rachel, is like, hey, do you read tarot cards? And I was like, nah, but I was thinking about getting a deck. And she gave me a deck, and I just like turned them over, and I could just read it. I could just read for some, so I could just read it, and so now I can read 22 decks. And these readings are so like scary accurate, and what it is crazy because people be like, you know, I'll have people like, oh, I'll do it, ah, ha, ha, ha. 2 minutes later, they're like, you know, I'm telling them things about themselves they ain't wanted to think about for years. But the thing is that Maureen will go attach her energy to the algorithm of their existence, and we can find the kinks that are the blockages in people's lives. My job is
hold on. Are you saying that your wife, she messed with tarot cards as well?
So I call. Basically, what I do is like I do to you.
No, I'm talking about your wife that passed away. She used to deal with the tarot. Wow.
No, she didn't do tarot. Yeah.
She didn't?
No.
Okay. That's what I was saying, because you were saying you felt like you was getting from energy from her. So
I do. She okay, this is how it goes, bro. I get into a little bit of a meditative trance where I do a reading to anyone. I can do it without even seeing them. I can do it without talking to them. I can do it without without their knowledge. I can do it. I ask my wife to go attach herself to their energy, their spiritual energy, and it's like an algorithm. And she can go and she can take anyone's energy and she can have a look-see, and she can find the kinks that it's like a kink to a garden hose that you need to unkink so the water will flow. And I can find the kinks in people's lives and make them aware of what is going on and what the blockages might be, what they need to hear so they can move forward and have a better life. Because that's what it's all about. That's the message. That's what I use for tarot. Because then I take the tarot cards. I can find out what the hell's going on in someone's mind, someone what they're hiding. You know, the divine lets me know through the artwork what is going on. What happens is once it's like I get the signal, like I ask for protection over everything and everyone that's involved, that no negative entities is allowed around me. I ask for my wife to come in, attach to the energies, and give me the messages I need. And then this little weird voice, I'll be like, how many times should I shuffle? A little weird voice like comes in and screams it in my ear. And I shuffle that many times, the cards come out. And then like, I don't have no control over my arms. Like, I don't have any control. They just start moving. And like, I can't explain it. And I don't think about it either. I just start looking at the artwork and it just starts telling me a story. And then that story seems to align so uniquely to people. Like I get people they've never met, they're just like jaws are just dropped, like wow, dude. And then like I'll be asked a question and I'll be shuffling, and then the card will spit out, and it will be the exact thing I'm looking for, the exact answer. It's uncanny. It scares me, and like it happens. And I've given hundreds of readings, right? Hundreds, and then so now I figure out. Because what I like, that's always a positive intention, man. I'm not here to tell you your future, man. That's crap. The future's unwritten. Fate is what we make. I'm not here to tell you your future. I'm here to tell you, like, if you said, hey, can you help me with the decision? I don't know if I should buy this rental property. I'll be like, sure. And that the cards literally will play out. The right side will play out like this is what probably is going to happen if you buy the house. This is what will probably happen if you don't. Now you need to make a conscious decision, and you need to weigh it out and see if it's best for you. I'm not going to be sitting here telling you what your future is going to be. That's your choice. Yeah. My job is awareness, because you know what you know, but you don't know what you don't know. And I'm here to bring that message to people, because it's unbelievable what people suffer with, and then their mentals, man. Because during this time of terror, I also woke up with the ability and the understanding how to heal people and their deep trauma wounds. I could see it all of a sudden, these crazy visions. I could see what was like the root cause of people's biggest issues in their life, like hardened criminals, man, like people with severe issues, man, severe, all the way back to the being in the womb, even before that with quantum entanglement. I could see it. It was just, I just woke up and could see it. And then that brought me into NLP and hypnotherapy, which I'm doing like I've like turned it on to this like house of healing. Like my people tell me, they're like you're my salvation, man. You have some way. I'm doing things in half an hour, which psychiatrists and counselors they haven't done anything for these people in 20 years. And I do it in 30 minutes, healing people, man.
Yeah.
And there's new things I got. I'm healing
really
people.
Changing and affecting the culture in a dope way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, with ripple effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing hypnotherapy, and what I'm doing is I'm anchoring in self-esteem boosters.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, you're going to notice that you're glowing a lot more out there in the world, and that people smile at you.
That's priceless.
Yeah.
That's priceless. When you messing with not only dealing with the physical wounds, you fixing the mental wounds. Especially in this day and time with so much going on in the world. Everybody is not only physically strained, mentally.
Yep.
Mentally, as the society, we all mentally strained.
Mental is
so
bigger.
What you're doing at this point in your life is amazing, Jeff.
Dude, it's so profound. And I did this NLP course that I took with timeline therapy. It's the most profound method of healing I've ever witnessed. Like, now I had another, like this vision came to me on how to heal people in their deepest wounds and traumas. Now my style took about 10 hours, depending on how deep, and it was mentally challenging and painful, but it did work, and it did free people from those traumas, right?
Right.
When I went to school for NLP and for timeline therapy, dude, I'm talking 30 minutes, bro. I could heal the worst pain, tragedy that you've had ever in your life. Heal it without pretending that it didn't happen, without drugs, without pain and suffering. And I did it because I was an example in front of my class of 40 students, and the entire class witnessed the transformation happen in front of them with me, with my teacher. And then I personally witnessed with all 40 other students to them happen to all them as well. Unbelievable, dude. And you know what? If we could heal the trauma in people, we could heal this whole damn planet. Hurt people.
All the time.
All the time.
Yep. You know, that 95% of disputes, whether it's between friend and friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, father, son, mother, daughter, wars, all of them are because both parties don't understand where the other person's coming from. And neither one of them know how to deliver the message the right way. And neither one of them know how to absorb it or take it in. Yeah. So I'm here, and it's all based. It's like all this is it's wounds, inner child, all the way stemming from childhood. And I got the method, man. I got it. Like I got it. And I'm out here, like literally, like helping these folks, man, and like, dude, like literally saving their mental existence, man. And like that right there, I'll put it this way: I don't really charge nothing. There's no dollar amount that can equal the fulfillment that I get. To watch people like the look on their feet, you can feel the energetic shift, man. That's why we don't need money. Remember we was talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
Money's a form of slavery. My creative wisdom, the fulfillment that I get and the joy that I get from watching people alleviate their suffering and their pain, man, so they can move on forward in their life. That feeling, bro, is just man, it's unexplainable, dude. Like, it's giving me purpose in life because I lost purpose. I lost everything. I about ended it. Many nights I looked at my pistol and said, I can't do this no more. But I decided that what happens if I ice myself and I wake up and it's worse than what it is here?
Absolutely. And then you won't be able to do what you're doing.
Won't be able to help.
Yeah.
Won't be able to help.
And then you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You mentioned delivering the right message, and that's what you've been doing on such a high level, Jeff. You know what I'm saying? It is amazing. And we want to thank you for coming through to help us deliver the right message. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because this is what it's all about. You know what I mean? You're learning from your story, learning, you know, through your trials and tribulations, and it can help affect the culture in an amazing way, man. We definitely gonna have to spin a block because your story is definitely still being told. And I think everything that you're doing is affecting the culture and can continue to affect the culture in an amazing way, man. We want to thank you for coming through, giving us your energy, telling us your amazing story, brother. It's been something that I've personally learned from, you know, just your strength, you know what I mean? Because like 50 Cent said, it's clear that I'm here for a real reason because he got hit like I got hit, but he ain't fucking breathing. You know what I'm talking about? And you've been through that and you still here. And not only are you here, you still trying to help and you still trying to grow and develop the culture in such an amazing way. So I salute you, brother. You know what I mean? And again, we appreciate you coming through, giving us your energy, and we definitely have to have you back. Right,
please have me back because I just want to be part of the people, man. My passion is communication, human connection. The end of the day, it's more important than anything. It's human connection, connection to each other, man. I love y'all, man. I love people, dude. I love people. I'm passionate about people, and I'm here, man. I'm about to go work with the Jacksons. I got invited to the Con Film Festival again. Simon's doing a big story in the LBH magazine about me again. I'm going out for the Monaco Grand Prix. Be out with men that we're gonna take this on a big level and we're gonna make a damn difference, man. I'm over it, man. I want to freaking. We have the ability to do it. We'll do it together.
Yeah, we're here. You got Address the Culture and iHipHop TV right there with you too. Right
there with you, man. Every step of the way, man. So again, we want to thank you for coming through, and we're gonna have you back, man. And we want you to have yourself a good night, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, man. I love you guys. Thank you for the opportunity, man.
Peace, Jeff.
Cheers, man.
Talk about
fearless. She's fearless. She's not only a silence breaker, she's an author 2 times. She's funny as hell, and she's just a real one.
There was a part of the story when I talked about coming back from Dallas, him picking me up from the airport, and how he beat me in the back seat of the vehicle. And in the headline on one of the blogs, it's very popular, I'm not going to name, it said, R. Kelly ex-girlfriend says that he kicked her in the back seat of his car and said, bitch, stay out of my business.
Okay, so I'm a girl, so I'm going to ask a girl question.
All right.
What are you looking for in a partner? First thing that comes to your mind.
First thing that came to my mind, girth.
All you gotta do is hush, you ain't gotta say much when you make that right connection. If you wanna double up, keep the money in the tuck, I can point you in the right direction. I can never get enough, all I got is us, I speak the true confessions. Everything goes smooth cause I stay on the move and make them right connections. All you gotta do is hush, you ain't gotta say much when you make them right connections. If you wanna double up, keep the money in the tuck, I can point you in the right direction. I can never get enough, all I got is us, I speak the true confession. Everything goes smooth cause I stay on the move and make them right connections.
Hey, man.
Great interview. I mean, the story's incredible, you know, and to be real, it's real. It don't get no realer than that. That's real life. That's real life. You can't make this stuff up.
No.
You can't.
No,
You know, that's right out of Hollywood. That's a Hollywood script right there. Movie, like you said, 4 books and 4 parts of his life. You know, so you know you can see it. You know, and you can feel it in his words when he's talking about it, when he's telling you. You know, I mean,
and that's one of them stories. Like I said, man, when we talk about just his strength, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people that went through those kind of situations, those trials and tribulations, they just lay down. You know what I mean? Like he said, and he said it a few times. It's so many times I looked at a pistol and I just wanted to end it all, but he didn't. Like that just shows his strength. You know, like that's the representation of what it would be. That's the idea that the culture needs, because we all go through it all. You know what I mean? And the fact that he still not only he got up and he made it through his personal situation, his tragedies, his addictions, and then he turned it into a positive way to start his healing. Come on, man. Come on, man. It don't get no better than that. You know what I'm saying? It don't get, and I respect it on so many levels because I've been there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've all been through those dark places in life where it's just like, man, like I don't even want to be here. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he did that, man, I respect it and I honor it. You know what I'm saying? It's just amazing, man. So we definitely gonna have to have Jeff back on. You know
we're gonna have to spin the block. We're gonna have to spin the block.
Yes, we might make us a Jeff series. You know what I'm saying? Have him come in
and give him and let him have his segment. Yeah,
have his segment. You know what I'm saying? Because we need that in the culture. You know what I mean? Absolutely.
People need help, and people are afraid or ashamed of the communities that they're in, the pressures that they feel, that they're afraid to come forward and go get therapy, you know, or to go get some type of mental counseling and health to help stabilize you. You know, to help stabilize. There's too many young kids committing suicide more than ever today.
Absolutely.
For nothing, you know.
Absolutely.
So Jeff. I think Jeff is needed, you know, and help cure people and take people out of here for somebody that did it and his experience. You know, it's watch this show. That's all. Watch this show.
You know what
and it's going to take big shout out to Aladdin 19.
Absolutely.
You know, Simon Shuri, LVH magazine, LVH Dubaian magazine. You know, big shout out to Simon and everything that they doing and coming up with the Club Prestige, LVH Club Prestige and Rodrigo and everything. You know, all in the same circle. You know, and hey, it's a beautiful thing. And that's what Address the Culture is about. And that's what we're here for.
Let's say that, P. Now, y'all heard from us. We want to hear from you. Like, comment, subscribe, join the culture gang, join iHipHop TV, hit that like button. Let us know how y'all feel about the show. You know what I'm saying? Let us know if y'all have some questions for Jeff. We can ask him. You know what I mean? And you know, we can definitely continue this conversation on the culture. Because we will be here every week, right here on the Address the Culture Network, powered by iHipHop TV, to give you news you can use and elevate the culture and address it.
And that's real talk right there.
You already know the vibe. So until next week, you know what I mean?
Next week, we'll be back
with the same type of vibe, same type of energy. I'm your boy, Big Wall.
I'm P.stock. Peace and blessings, you know. Hang in there.
And this is Address the Culture. And like I always say, your culture makes you who you are. So make sure they respect it. We're going to catch you on the next episode. We up out of here.
Peace.
It's 64, boy.
Scratch.